This is the story of Horatio Pagani. How did he go from being rejected by luxury automobile brands like Lamborghini and Ferrari to becoming one of the richest persons in the automotive industry to have a billion-dollar company? Let's start this inspiring story from the year 1955. On the 10th of November, 1955, Horatio Pagani was born in Casilda, a small town in Argentina, to his parents Luca and Maria Pagani. Although his father was a baker, Horatio started dreaming of a better life for himself from a young age. At age 9, he would carve out car models from wood, and this confused his parents. He got his inspiration from pictures of racing cars he saw in automotive magazines from Italy. Luca Pagani couldn't take away his son's love for cars, so he let him follow his dreams. In 1969, Horatio and his friend Gustavo Marani successfully built 2 mini bikes. By the next year, just before they graduated from high school, they had built a 4-wheel vehicle. Horatio and Gustavo built the car from a reinforced plastic body kit donated by a company in Mar del Plata. After Horatio graduated, he opened up a small mechanic shop to design and build racing cars from scratch. His talent caught the attention of the French automobile company, Renault. Renault hired Horatio to improve the body of their racing car. He impressed the company with his talent and delivered a flawless job. Working for this French company exposed Horatio to experience what his craftsmanship would be like in the future, and was his first big route to a successful career. However, it also exposed him to one big problem he couldn't see before. Casilda, the town he was a resident of in Argentina, was an agricultural-based town, and it was impossible to drive supercars on a farm. If he continued to make supercars, no one would drive them, nor would they afford them. Horatio needed to be in a place that would value his skills as a mechanic and supercar designer. He knew that the only way to achieve his dream of making supercars was to emigrate to a country that allowed races. Horatio's father was from Italy, and he had heard of the automobile companies growing there, like the Lamborghini brand. He started making plans to move to Italy, and that took a lot of planning because Horatio was just married to his 19-year-old bride, Cristina Pagani. Moving to another country meant he needed enough skills to take care of himself and his wife. Yet the only skill Horatio had was making supercars. In 1982, together with his young wife, Horatio left Argentina for Italy. After leaving Argentina, Horatio sought a job that would fund his new life abroad, but he wanted to work in a company that made supercars, even if he did not start as a designer or mechanic. He and his wife Cristina started living in a tent in a camp in Bologna, since neither of them could speak Italian and they had little money. However, the two saw it as an adventure. Horatio was hired by Lamborghini, but not as a mechanic or a supercar designer. He started working as a janitor for Lamborghini. His job was to sweep the floor of the engineering department, and he was very dedicated to it. While working as a janitor, Horatio was the first to arrive and the last to leave the workshop. He learned more car building tips from observing the engineers, and in time, his dedication to work was noticed. Horatio was offered a position as a supercar designer, taking him one step closer to his dream. Horatio accepted his new role as a supercar designer and continued to climb up the ranks of engineers under the Lamborghini brand. By the late 1980s, he was one of the best engineers in the company and attained the role of chief engineer. Horatio's task as chief engineer was to design a new car for the Countach Lamborghini car. At the time, Horatio was very passionate about using carbon fibers in supercars, and he felt that the Countach design was a good place to start the revolution. However, the company did not have the same dream as Horatio. He tried to persuade Lamborghini to buy an autoclave so they could extend the production of the carbon parts for the Evolution. Horatio foresaw that every supercar in the future would make use of carbon fiber, but his idea was rejected. The Lamborghini brand was started because of Ferruccio Lamborghini's rivalry with Enzo Ferrari. Ferruccio wanted to make better engines and cars than Enzo's Ferrari. Yet he didn't want the supercars to differ completely from his competition. In their defense of rejecting Horatio's idea, Ferrari did not have an autoclave, so Lamborghini didn't need one. This put a huge dent in Horatio's plans. But instead of dwelling on the rejection, he decided it was time to leave Lamborghini and explore making supercars how he wanted to make them. However, it wasn't easy to break out of one of the best luxury car companies and start your own when companies like Ferrari and Lamborghini are around. Horatio knew his name had to be known in the industry first if he was going to stand on his own. He designed and produced the Lamborghini Countach, which is, to date, one of Lamborghini's greatest models. Even after his success with the Countach, Horatio was still not satisfied. In 1987, Horatio walked into the bank and borrowed money to buy an autoclave to build cars out of carbon fiber. He spent his remaining years at Lamborghini designing and making another version of the Countach called the Countach Evolution. It was a car made of carbon fiber and aluminum, which was fabricated by his new composite department. The results of the Countach Evolution were impressive. It weighed about 2,200 pounds, which was 1,100 pounds lighter than the standard Countach. History was made. In 1991, Horatio redesigned the Lamborghini. Since the 1980s, Horatio knew that carbon fiber would become widely used in supercars in the future, and he was right. Presently, every supercar has at least one carbon piece. His bosses at Lamborghini did not see the need or the potential. But instead of admitting defeat, Horatio sorted out on his own to make his car models. After leaving Lamborghini in 1991, Horatio started a consultancy firm called Modena Designs, and he continued to make carbon fiber for supercars. He hoped to use money from the firm to fund making his cars. Due to his popularity in Lamborghini, Horatio had clients from major brands like Ferrari, a part of Mercedes-Benz Daimler, and Aprilia. In 1992, Horatio founded Automobile Modena. It wasn't easy making supercars in Italy because Lamborghini and Ferrari had the market's attention, and Ferrari was a client of Modena Designs. Horatio also realized that more people hated his ideas than the people who loved them, but he trusted his instinct and followed his dreams. In 1995, Bugatti, one of Modena Designs' clients, experienced severe bankruptcy, and that affected the funding for Automobile Modena. Horatio was Bugatti's design and engineering consultant, so the bankruptcy degraded the quality of Modena Design's services. He had no one to offer him financial aid, but Horatio continued with his plans. It took Horatio 7 years to make his first car, but he spent it well. Between 1992 and 1999, Horatio spent 18,000 hours of his spare time analyzing other supercars and assessing the exact parameters for the safety, weight, and comfort of his perfect car. He designed all 3,700 parts of the car, besides the engine and gearbox. In 1999, Horatio produced his first car called the Zonda. The car made its debut at the Geneva Motor Show. Horatio sold each car for 470 million Italian lira, which is approximately 250,000 pounds. After the Zonda debuted, Horatio landed about 57 orders for his car, but due to low funds, he insisted on upfront deposits. The company started by making a few cars a year until they could expand and improve their manpower. In 2005, Pagani announced it would triple its production output within the next 3 years and enter the US market in 2007. By 2008, Pagani Automobile was making 17 cars a year and earning over £12 million. Horatio continued making carbon car parts and designed more cars after the Zonda, including the Huayra, which he named after Huayra Tata, the god of the wind in Incan culture. Horatio's dream to make supercars came true. His persistence in making supercars using carbon fiber earned him the nickname King of Carbon. As he predicted, carbon fiber had become a foundational substance for the production of supercars because of its lightness and robustness. Horatio worked on newer models, some of which took years to develop. However, considering the first supercar took 7 years to design, Horatio Pagani followed the process diligently. On the 30th of June, 2010, Pagani claimed a record for production-based cars using the Pagani Zonda R and completing the Nürburgring in 6:47, beating the Ferrari 599XX. This was a huge win for Horatio because Ferrari was his competition, and Lamborghini, the previous company he had worked for. In 2013, a Zonda Revolution version was introduced, equipped with an 800 horsepower, and the price for the car was put at £2.2 million. Later on, he developed the Zonda 760 Coupe, limited edition, which was highly sought after. Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton has one. Horatio went from making almost nothing as a baker's son and a janitor to having an estimated net worth of $125 million and an annual salary of $20 million. On the 12th of September 2022, Pagani announced the successor to the Huayra, called Utopia. Presently, they plan to produce 99 units of the coupe variant, but they have not disclosed the price or when deliveries will begin. Do you think Paganis are too expensive? Do you think Lamborghini was wrong to reject Horatio's ideas? What would you like us to cover next? Comment below and check out other videos on our channel.